I have 2 kids and they are 11 and 14, and it was really hard running a business when they were younger. Hi angels! Today I am doing an end of the year Q&A for you. I asked you all what you wanted to know from me as a full-time artist, so let's just jump right in. Question 1. What did you plan to do before or if I wasn't going to do art? I wish I had some really cool answer to give for this, but before I landed on pursuing art, I actually felt really lost about what I was going to do in my future. I had taken a hairdressing course, but eventually I realised that as an introvert that just really wasn't right for me, although I do still do my own hair and my sister's hair. Question 2. What's your biggest inspiration as an artist? So my biggest inspiration is magic and fantasy. Mermaids, witches, fairies, they just really make me like feel things and like just make me want to create. Also anything like soft, cute, like gentle and feminine, like non-gendered feminine, things that feel calm, relaxed and like beautiful just like really inspire me. Okay, so this next one is not so much of a question for this kind of video, but someone asked me to do a makeup tutorial and I wanted to know, is that something you would all like to see? If so, let me know how you'd want me to do it. Do you want me to do it like this as a YouTube video format, or do you want me to do it like a reel or a short or something like that? Question 3. What are your art and business goals for 2024? Any cool projects planned? I'm actually going to do a video on my 2024 plans on the 1st of January, I think it's going to be. So in that I will get a little bit more into what my plans are going to be, but one of the projects that I can tell you about that I'm really hoping, like crossing my fingers, that I'm able to complete it in 2024 is my future tarot deck. Finally. I started working on that like a while ago and I did the whole of like the major arcana and some of the minor arcana, and then I was just like, you know what, I don't like the artwork anymore, I don't like the art style I was using or how like my skill level, so now I want to redo it all over again. Question 4. How did you get into art and drawing? I loved art so much when I was younger. I would draw little characters in their houses and make up like little stories for them, and mostly their artwork was just about how they all lived underground in their little, I don't even know what inspired this, it just feels very nostalgic to me, like little animals and things living underground in their little homes. But when I was a teenager, my priorities changed and shifted and I drifted away from my art. I actually get the dates a little bit confused, I think, but I think it was around 2012 that I started to draw again. And then in 2016, I decided that my realism skills were good enough to open up an Etsy shop. Then I think it was around 2018 that I decided that realism wasn't making my heart happy and I really wanted to draw illustration instead. Question 5. How long did it take for you to gain an audience for your business? So on Etsy, it wasn't until I started selling like witchy items and more illustration type items around 2018 that I started to notice more and more orders coming in, more people following the shop, etc. And it really just grew from there. And then when I started selling my oracle cards, I got a lot more visibility. And I think because like I had almost found like this little like witchy magical niche that I was selling like green witch stickers and things like that, then I think the oracle cards really took off with that community. So I really feel like it's about finding what your passion is, like rather than focusing on the orders coming in and stuff like that. Try and focus more on what's your passion, what's going to make you happy, what can you see yourself like doing long term, like what can you have the stamina to keep going with. And I feel like once you realize that and understand that, then everything just kind of like falls into place. So for Instagram, it was a very slow process. I did actually have an account before the Aianaiya account, and that was my like realism type art account, and that was called Tammy M. And then in 2018 I decided to start Aianaiya and start my illustration account. But I only really got into the K numbers when one of my reels went viral. So for timelines, I think this was around 2020 that the reel went viral, and it was this one. And along the way, I've had some more reels go like semi-viral, but nothing like that first one. That was like in the millions. It is a slow process with everything. I feel like it is a slow process. I still feel like I'm growing because once you reach like your goal, if you reach like 10k, 20k, whatever, 500 followers, I remember 500 followers was like a huge milestone for me. But once you reach that, like you then think of like the next goal and the next goal and the next goal, and it just carries on like that. So I personally feel like this is also speaking to myself, like calling myself out here, but focus less on the numbers and focus more on like enjoying what you're putting out, enjoying what you're showing to people. Like, it's just enjoy your art. Don't like focus too much on what you're going to receive from that. Like, just have happiness with it. I don't know if that helps. Question 6. Is that how you do 6? Question 6? Question 6. How did you come up with your shop name? I was stuck thinking of a name in 2018 all day for like 2 days straight. And then I finally came up with my current name, Aianaiya. At the time, I wanted something witchy and also something mermaid related, because those were like the two things that I was like super into and still am. And then I thought it would be really fun to get the name from a different language. And so because Cyprus is really special to me, I decided to go for Greek, and I took the word Gaia, meaning earth, and that's obviously like the earth goddess, and I shortened it to Aya. And then the word Nea is a Greek origin name meaning water nymph. So it was kind of along the lines of mermaid, and I was searching like different names for mermaid, like names that mean mermaid, like different language words that mean mermaid, and all this kind of things. And I eventually found Nea, and it just kind of like fit together for me. I have actually thought about changing my name, and this always keeps coming up for me. I struggle with it because I worry that people, one, like can't pronounce it, and two, can't remember like the name well enough. But then I worry that if I'm going to change it, people will kind of lose me in a sense. Like they won't like really remember or take like getting used to. And I know a lot of us don't really like change in that kind of aspect. When I see some artists online like change their handle, I'm very much like, what? And I have to like get used to it for a little bit. But I was thinking of like dropping the Aya part and just having Nea. But a lot of people on Instagram refer to me as Aya. So I don't know if that would get more confusing. I just really don't want to confuse people. So for now, I think I'm just going to keep it the same. And I'd want something really easy for like people to remember, or something really cute, but I cannot for the life of me come up with anything that doesn't sound, I don't know, like slightly cheesy or weird. Question 7. How long did it take to get consistent sales once I started Etsy? So like I mentioned in the other question, I started my Etsy shop in 2016, and it wasn't until I found my passion in 2018 did things like really truly start to pick up. But I would say that it reached the most consistency in 2020, so 2 years from when I started following my passion. So it can take time, it can be quick. I think there's so many different variables and factors that go into like how it's decided that how quick your things are going to take off or be seen. And I know that some shops have one item like take off and then the rest of the items like not do so well. So it's just all about, to me it feels like luck. But I think as long as you just focus on making a nice storefront, like making it look inviting, making it look professional, having categories, having some decent-ish pictures, then I think, and making sure that you fill out every other little aspect of your shop, so like your about me section, your policies, all that kind of stuff, it does affect your visibility as well, I believe. So just make sure you're doing everything thorough and professional, and they will come. All right, your orders will come. It will be consistent. You'll get there. But one thing that I want to say for mine, so consistency for me is more like a fluctuation. Like it still fluctuates. It's not like I know exactly how much I'm going to make every month of the year. And I mean, I can sort of predict that based on past years and things like that, but it's not consistent like, oh, I'm gonna get 50 orders this week, 50 orders that week, and it's just gonna keep going. Like, it does fluctuate. Like, in the middle of the year, this is like a pretty slow time for me, and I feel like it's important to remember that that's the nature of having like your online business. At least this is the case in mine and a few of my friends' experiences. Question 8. How do you find the motivation to keep going after your dreams? I do struggle a lot, especially if I let like outside noise cloud my view and I internally like make myself feel like I'm not successful. I do have phases of downtime where I'm just going through the motions with my business, but usually when I feel unmotivated, I will take time away to just have some space to be in my head and think about the things that I want to achieve, like making my own tarot deck. But it also doesn't have to be in the form of something like monetary. Wanting to continue to get better at art is like a huge motivation for me, and I try to think of all the different things that I can try and do to keep on improving my art. And I feel like taking that time to step back and also taking that time to improve your skills and things, it just, for me, that feels like that's how I keep the motivation going. And also in that downtime, if I feel like it and I feel like it's inspiring, I will spend a lot of time looking at other artists' artwork. It just feels like it sparks something in me and makes me start to think about all the different things that I personally want to do and what I want to achieve. And I'll read like artists actual like art books, and like reading their story and stuff just feels really inspiring and makes you feel like it's also you're also on this journey. Question 9. That is so hard to do. That actually hurts my finger. Where do you get your paper to do your prints? For the longest time, I bought fancy watercolor paper to print on, but it was never very vibrant or true to color. So instead, I started using a paper that was made for my printer. This way of doing it was quite a bit more expensive. It gives me the best quality, and I think because it's made for that printer that you're using, then it's already made to come out looking right, if that makes sense. Because my printer is Epson, I use Epson archival matte paper for my prints. The thickness of the prints is kind of like flimsy in a sense, but the quality is so good that I can't use a different paper. It just doesn't work. And also I find that with my printers, whenever I use like a slightly thicker paper, it is not happy with it. For the last question, it is something a little bit more personal. Question 10. How many kids do you have and how old are they? I have 2 kids and they are 11 and 14, and it was really hard running a business when they were younger. It wasn't really like running a business like I am now. It was very low-key, and I had almost no time to draw. Now that they're a bit older and more independent, it's a lot easier, but I still struggle at times, especially during school breaks and holidays. If you have kids, let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A. I found it really fun being able to answer all of your questions. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to like follow up on with all the different things that I've mentioned in these questions. And if you reach the end of this video, please leave me a little cloud emoji in the comments to let me know that you watched it all the way through. And if you did this, thank you so much. You guys are incredible and I love making these vlogs for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!